Hi guys, welcome to Winnie's Corner, a safe place for women to learn and grow. Today I'll be taking some questions and I'll be giving my thoughts on them. I hope that I do my best to help someone out there. Before I start, I just want to go ahead to thank all of you who have been so supportive, encouraging, sharing my YouTube channel and sending me messages thanking me. I just want to say that I really do appreciate your support and encouragement, and that it means a lot to me. And if it's your first time on my channel, please go ahead and click the subscribe button and click the notification bell beside the subscribe button so that anytime I make a new video, you will get an alert. Thank you all so much. Today, I'm focusing on answering some questions or giving my thoughts on some questions that were sent to me. And I hope that I do my best. But before I start, I just want to let you guys know that I am not a marriage counselor. Neither am I in the position to tell you what to do in your relationship or in your marriage. I'm just here to give my thoughts and hoping that someone will learn a thing or two. And if you think that you have more to say about the questions, please write it in the comment section, and I'm sure that the person that sent the question will read and will get help from all of us. This is a safe place for women to grow, including me, for us to learn and grow together. The first question said, how do I persevere in marriage when things are really hard? I mean really, really hard, almost thinking of divorce. I just want to mention that the person went ahead to clarify that the hard times here had nothing to do with physical abuse. So it has nothing to do with a spouse beating the other. It's just normal hard times that people go through in marriage, and the person just wants to get a thought on how she can go ahead to persevere. I'll start by asking, what is perseverance? Perseverance is the ability for someone to remain steadfast and determined about something even when it's really difficult and hard to do that. Okay, the first thing I'm going to say is that hard times is inevitable. If anyone tells you that they are in marriage and they have never gone through hard times, and I mean hard times, I don't mean like abuse. I've said before, it's not about abuse. This is different. It's just about normal things. It can be financial, it can be a lack of communication, it can be whatever, whatever that makes it hard for you to want to continue to live with that person. No, it can be, that. And I also want to mention that nowadays, getting a divorce is so easy. Getting a divorce these days is just like going to the shop and buying a carton of milk, getting back home and saying, oh, I don't like the way it tastes, and then you take it back. But coming from a Christian perspective, I don't think that's how marriage should be like. Marriage should be more. One of the reasons why most times people cannot persevere in marriage is because they have the worldly interpretation of marriage. They see marriage as something that you can just get in and out, I can get in and I get out whenever I want, I marry you, and if I don't like you, I dump you. That's just how people see it, but that's not how it should be. The institution of marriage has been so much abused that we Christians we don't even know what it is. In my opinion, I think that when you're going through hard times, that is a time you have to reevaluate the reason why you get married. That is a time you and your spouse, you need to come together and ask yourself, why did we get married? You look at the purpose. The purpose for which we get married should be greater than everything that we face. Nowadays, people get married for many reasons. People get married because they need someone to take care of them, especially for us women. We get married because we need someone to share our bills. We get married because we just need someone by us, but there is a deeper reason why you should get married. I think that the purpose for marriage is for Christ to be glorified in you. It's for the Father to use your spouse to glorify himself by making you by transforming you into the image of Christ who is your life. You don't know how important it is your spouse is for God's purpose to be glorified or for God's purpose in your life to be fulfilled. The purpose for your marriage should be for God's purpose to come to pass. And what is his purpose? Is to see Christ glorified in us. That is the purpose for marriage. What else is greater than Christ glorified in us? This, thinking about this alone, gives me the fortitude, give me the power, give me the ability to stay strong in my marriage, to know that whatever thing I'm facing, whether it is financial or whether it is mental or whatever thing I'm facing, I can go through this knowing that the purpose is for Christ to be glorified in me. That is another way that you can persevere in marriage is when you're going through hard times. Think about the person that you're going through the hard times with. Think about your spouse. Most times when there is hard time, there's the ability for us to focus on ourselves alone, what we want, what we need, and we forget about the person, knowing that the person is in the same situation, and needs encouragement as well. I have said before that this has nothing to do with physical abuse or abuse in any form. It's just normal hard times in marriage. So that's why I'm talking like this. So what I'm saying is, when you're going through hard times, focus on your spouse. Marriage is getting up every day, choosing to love the other person. You did not sign up to love someone without weaknesses. You did not sign up to love to stay with someone without troubles or without hard times. Even there are some vows that says that for better, for worse. It says that no matter the situation, I'm going to stick with you. We made vows to each other, and we have to have the ability to stand in those vows and think about that person. Focus on that person. If whatever you're going through, it's caused by that person, try to understand where they are coming from and see how you guys can fix it together, instead of focusing more on yourself all the time. Because when you focus on yourself, you lose strength. The Bible says 2 are better than 1. So when you're going through hard times, that is the time to be closer to your spouse. Try to encourage your spouse. Try to be respectful to your spouse, because most times when people are going through hard times, they have the tendency to be disrespectful to their spouse. They have the tendency to be insulting. They have the tendency to just lack normal courtesy towards their spouse because maybe their spouse did something wrong. That is immaturity. We have to grow in marriage. We have to grow to know that when we are going through hard times, it's a time for you to focus on that person. That person deserves to be loved, even if things are not good, even if you guys are not agreeing, even if things are difficult, that person deserves to be loved. So focus on that person. Ask yourself, why did I marry this person? What are the things that you like about that person? These are the times to list those things. In as much as we have this hard time, but this person has been a blessing to me in this. That will help you to go through the hard times in a mature way. I'm going to read Ephesians 4 verse 2 to 3. It says that Ephesians 4 verse 2 to 3. It says that with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love. I'm going to read it again. With all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love. Forbearing one another in love. We have to learn how to have long suffering, patience. We have to learn how to forbear each other, like endure each other in love. So perseverance, you have to, when you're going through perseverance, that is a time to choose to love the person. I know it's not easy, but it has to be a choice. That's why love is a choice, because in marriage, love is a choice, because you have to make a conscious choice to love that person, even though there are things that they do that is difficult for you to take, that is hard for you to take, but you have to learn how to love that person. And the question I want to ask is, when you have a friend, and sometimes we have our sisters, our brothers, or friends who are very close to us, and they have a lot of weaknesses, we will find out we tend to easily bear with those friends. We tend to easily bear with our sisters and brothers when they hurt us than with our spouse. And that shouldn't be like that. We find it so easy to give up on marriage. We find it so easy to give up on our partner. We find it so easy to cast them away, because the society has made it so easy for us. You can just go to the court and sign for a divorce and let him go just because you guys couldn't communicate well. Forgetting to know that not being able to communicate is something that happens to everyone. It's just to learn the skills to communicate. But some people go ahead to just divorce because we can't communicate. Oh, we are financially that I couldn't take in anymore. I had to leave him. Things like that. We have to get to the point where we can bear our spouse even when we are going through things. Do you cast your friends away or cast your sister away when they're going through hard times or when they're going through something? We don't do that. Then why do that to our spouse? So it's a time for us to focus on the person we are married to and choose to love them. God expects us to choose to love our spouse even when it's hard. Love is not only when things are going well, but love is proved more when things are not going well. And 1 Corinthians 13, that defines love. It says that love bears all things. Love endures all things. That is the definition of love in 1 Corinthians 13. So we cannot say that we love someone and we cannot bear and endure with them. And the purpose for every hard time is for God to be glorified. It's for you to come out victorious. There is a purpose for hard times. Jesus said, in this world you will face tribulation. But what did he say after that? Cheer up, I have overcome the world. So the Father has got you. The Father cares about you. And no matter what you face, take it to him in prayer and supplication. And I'm sure that he's going to intervene and is going to give you peace where you need it. The next question says, how do I choose people to share my marriage stuff with, considering the fact that there is a lot of gossiping around? How do I choose the people to share my marriage stuff with, considering the fact that there is a lot of gossip around? Okay, this is what I'm going to say. When you say marriage stuff, when you say marriage stuff, I think you're talking about very important issue. Because there are married couples who go around complaining to everyone. They complain to Sister Susan on Monday. On Tuesday, they go to Sister Rebecca. Wednesday, they go to Brother John. Thursday, they go to Sister Veronica. You just keep on talking to different people about things that are not even important. You can talk to your spiritual guide, to your spiritual mentor. It can be your pastor, whether it's a woman or a man. But I want to mention this. These days, most pastors don't give godly advice. I've seen a lot of people who have had broken homes and divorced and have gotten divorced because of the counsel given to them by their pastor. So you should be able to trust your pastor. Don't just go about and say, oh, it's my pastor. You should be spiritually fit to tell me. No, it's not every pastor that pastors a church that is spiritually fit to give you a godly counsel about your marriage. So the first thing is to talk to your pastor if they have the mind of Christ concerning marriage. Because not every pastor does. I've heard a lot of pastors give evil counsel to people. So you need to think if your pastor is someone that has a godly mind and that can give you godly counsel. Then your pastor can be one of the people that you can choose to go to when you have marriage issues. Go to a couple that you think is well equipped spiritually and otherwise to give you a counsel that is going to help you grow your marriage. And not go to anyone that you see. You just see anyone and you are like, oh, I'm going through this in my marriage, give me counsel. You just go to anyone for counsel. That is not good. Many people have done that and they end up losing their spouse because they spoke to the wrong person that took that information and used it against them to destroy their marriage. I have a lot of examples of that, and I will tell you that it's not a good idea. Don't talk to anyone about your marriage. I think you can talk to your pastor if you think that they are spiritually in the place to give you godly counsel, and you can also talk to a couple that you think that they are equipped enough to give you godly counsel, maybe from experience. And the last thing I'm going to mention is you can go for marriage counseling. For us back home, marriage counseling is not something that we really believe in, because the first thing is that marriage counseling is expensive, and one thing is we don't have it in our culture to go for counseling. So most people don't care. Most people are like they just talk to anyone, but that's something that if you have the means, you can go to a marriage counselor and seek for advice, and then they can be able to counsel you on what to do. Another thing that I'm going to mention is that when it comes to talking to people, and if you really want to have advice on some major stuffs in your marriage and you need someone to talk to, I think that you should look for people that both of you agree on, like both the wife and the husband. Don't look for someone that will only agree with you, and will not agree with your spouse because they are attached to you in one way or the other. I think most times a pastor is in that position. He has the spiritual authority, to advise you guys and tell you guys what to do. And also, couples that have gone through things in life and that have experienced a lot and have done it right can be in the position to tell you guys how to tackle situations in your marriage and go through them successfully. And lastly, marriage counselors can also help you guys to see things that you guys were not seeing and be able to rectify a lot of things going on in your marriage. Like I said before, I am not a marriage counselor, and I am not in any position to tell anyone what to do in their marriage or relationship. I'm just here to share my thoughts because those questions were asked. So if you have any other thoughts on these questions, or if you have something that you think will benefit the person that asked these questions, please comment and write it out, and I'm sure that the person is going to read it out and is going to get some help. I hope that I did my best to give my opinion, and I hope that it's a blessing to someone. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Don't forget to share my YouTube channel. I'm really grateful for that, and I hope that we'll continue to grow. This is a safe place for women to learn and grow.